Internet security is very important in today's computing world. There are many kinds of attackers who will either try to steal your information or your identity. Windows has a built-in program called Defender, which will help secure your information by keeping attackers away from your machine, whether it's malware, spyware, or viruses. Let's look at the video and see how it's done.
Windows 8 includes the Windows Defender software to protect your computer against threats from malware, viruses, and spyware. To open Windows Defender, you can right-click on any blank area of the start screen and select the All Apps view. This will show a list of all computer programs installed. Then you can scroll to the right and locate the Windows Defender icon. Click once with the left mouse button to open the Windows Defender program. This application uses color coding to give you a very quick status of your machine. Green indicates that the PC is protected and monitored. Amber or red indicate warnings or threat conditions. Below the title bar, we can see 4 tabs. This is the home page of Windows Defender that tells me the protection status of my computer, as well as when last I scanned the computer and giving me some options to run a scan. We'll run a scan in a couple of minutes, but I just want to talk about some of the other settings first. It's very important that we note that the computer spyware definitions are currently 3 days out of date. In this day and age, when new threats are evolving on a continual basis, we really should be updating the definitions for viruses and spyware as frequently as possible. In a corporate IT environment, there should be policies that force your system to update Windows Defender automatically. But for this demonstration, I've disabled those automatic update settings so that we can see how to update the computer manually. I go to the Update tab and click the button. Downloading and installing the updates is really quick. I can now see that my status message has changed to say that I'm up to date. And if I go back to the home page, my protection is up to date. The next tab I'd like to show you is the Settings tab. An important setting to look at here are the settings for my exclusions. An exclusion means something that Windows Defender is not going to scan. Windows Defender allows us to exclude certain processes, which is the name of an executable file types, or specific file locations. As I've mentioned before, in a corporate environment, these settings will be controlled by a corporate IT policy, and you shouldn't be able to change them. But for home users, or perhaps an environment where you use your own laptop for company purposes, it's worth knowing how to set these exclusions, just in case there's a particular folder on your machine that causes the Windows Defender to crash or to slow down dramatically while doing a scan. To begin adding an exclusion, I click the Browse button, and then use the carrots to expand the folder structure up to the point where I can exclude a particular folder. So in this case, I want to exclude the temporary folder. So I simply highlight the folder, click OK, and then don't forget to click Add. Once I've clicked Add, the Save Changes button will become available, and then Windows Defender will remember to skip that folder when it runs a scan. Windows Defender will normally scan your machine on a scheduled basis. It should run a scan at least once a day. If you think something might have happened on your machine that could contain a threat, for example, you visited a website or you've opened an attachment to an email that you suspect might have malicious content, then you should run a full scan on your machine. A full scan will look in places that the quick scan doesn't normally look, and although it's very thorough, it does take a lot longer to run. The other scan option is the custom scan. A custom scan is useful if you've downloaded something but you haven't opened it yet, and you want to check whether it contains any threats because you're not sure about the source. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate a custom scan for you. We change the radio button into the custom selection and then choose Scan Now. So I expand the caret for the C drive and then locate the templates folder, which is the folder I want to scan. I can then click OK. And because it was a small folder with only a few files, the scan succeeded very quickly. Defender confirms the amount of items that were scanned and confirms that no threats were found. So to review, Windows Defender provides ongoing, real-time protection against threats. Threats that you might encounter while browsing to a website that you thought you could trust, or from opening an attachment to an email or any other kind of file you've downloaded. It's important to make sure Defender is up to date. If your corporate IT policy is not automatically updating Defender, then you should perform manual updates on a regular basis. Finally, we can go into the settings and customize how Defender works. You may wish to add some exclusions under the settings to make sure that Windows Defender doesn't scan certain folders that might cause problems when being scanned.